discussed in the last class?
So we discussed about liberty.
Liberty, yeah, but not fully. We were on the way. We did not explain, yeah.
Yes, we just
Just, yeah, I have just introduced the word liberty. So what we discussed, can you just remind me?
Yes, sir. Sir, liberty, I said that it is a capacity to utilize someone's freedom.
Right.
And both my colleagues also gave a different meaning.
Meaning, yeah.
You introduce about John Locke. He is a father of liberalization from Britain.
Father of liberalism, and yeah.
Yeah, from Britain in 17th century. And you also told that it is a modern concept of freedom. And liberty does not mean license.
Right.
It is it means that no one can intervene in others' liberty. That everyone is free.
Right. Right. So everyone has equal liberty, right? But no one has license.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We have liberty of expression, thoughts, belief, faith, and worship.
Right. Now I need to talk about more about liberty. Hi Swati, Avinav. I hope you all are good. And it's all right, Avinav. 2 मिनट 4 मिनट लेट होता ही है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Right? No issue at all. But try to always be on time. That's all. Nothing. So liberty, I talked about that, it is a modern concept, right? And it is a core value of liberalism. It is a core value of liberal philosophy. Right? It is a core value of liberal philosophy, or you can call liberalism. Right? And John Locke is the father, right, who talked about that, nature has made everyone equal, right? And each one has equal right to, each person, each individual has, equal right to liberty, life and property. सबके पास ये राइट्स है, right to life, right to liberty, right to property. Right? No one has more than the other. Right? And since individual is irrational, look at their concept. Each one has equal liberty and equally, individual is irrational being. Is rational being. Right? Individual is rational being. Right? So they have religion. They have religion. Right? And they are the best judge. And they are the best judge of their own interest. Right? Individual is a rational being. Right? They have religion, and therefore, each individual is the best judge of their own interest. Right? So Shivani can know her own best interest. I can know my own. Right? And so does Avinav. And within the class, we all not should impose our own decision on Avinav. Avinav knows his best interest. Right, so since individual is a rational being and have a region, so neither society nor grow. Neither society nor state nor a collective grow. Should impose its decision on an individual. Right? Neither society nor state nor the collective group, right, should impose its decision on an individual. Right? That is liberty. Now here, what does it mean? Liberty means. Liberty means now what we can infer, what we can conclude, the true meaning of liberty. Liberty means absence of external interference. Did you get it? The conclusion. Absence of external interference. That is the meaning of liberty. The true meaning of liberty. But liberty does not mean license. Liberty does not, license. Liberty does not mean license, right? Liberty has its own, for example, if I am listening music, that's my liberty. Right? I can, I can switch on my music system and television and I can hear any sort of music I want. But it does not mean I should increase the volume in such a manner that my neighbor may be disturbed. That is not liberty. Liberty has its own license, no? So I have liberty and at the same time I have some, obligation. I must respect the other's liberty. Right? Liberty does not mean license. Am I making sense? The liberty as an absence of external interference. Neither society nor state nor if a collective group impose its decision on individual. For example, state should not tell what you should eat. For example, state should not talk what you should eat, what you should wear. You decide what you should wear, to whom you should marry. Right? When you should go for abortion and when you should go for child family planning. All individuals have region and nationality and they must decide. So liberty means the absence of external interference. Right? And liberty is good for an individual, it is good for society and it is good for a state. If you look at the liberty means allowing individual to perform in their excellence. Right? And the state who promoted liberty, patronized liberty becomes very successful for example US. For example, all European countries. But at the same time, if you look at the countries who does not respect the individual liberty, decline, like USSR, right? The Eastern Europe, right? I'm making sense here. Afghanistan, here many states we have example. So liberty is a good in itself, right? So even not a state. Now look at this liberty. When this idea was developed, there was an industrial revolution. Look at the context in which this concept was evolved. It was an industrial revolution in the Europe, right? And here liberty means, it's also individual liberty to invest or open its own entrepreneurship, its own industry. I should decide what kind of industry I want to establish, and the state should not tell me what kind of industry I should. Now look at here, liberty means absence of external interference. The state is very limited here. State means limited state. Nahin. State means limited state. Right? A state should not intervene. Now this is the classical idea of liberty. Right? But at the same time you need law, because to maintain certain kinds of liberty that each individual can enjoy liberty, there should be at least some sense of law, because there is no liberty, no law. No liberty, no law, no liberty. Right? At least there should be some sense of law in order to ensure liberty. Right? At least natural law. अगर कोई law नहीं है तो natural law. Otherwise some sense of law. For example, you are going on the road, and the worker, the person who doesn't have any vehicle, should walk on the left side of the road. At the same time, the car should take the, on the road, should drive on the road. Right? And should stop when there is a red light. Otherwise, consider, Swati, you are walking on the road and car is honking. And the driver said, "Oh madam, just you should walk just left side of the road or on the pavement." You may argue, it's my liberty, right? I may walk on the road. Who are you? Right? Who are you to tell me I should walk on the left side of the road? Then what may happen? The driver may start driving on the left side of the road. Right? Yeah, exactly. So he has also liberty to drive anywhere he wants. Right? And should not stop at the red light. Therefore, there should be at least some sense of restrictions within liberty. Liberty has its own restrictions. Right? Liberty is not, right? Liberty is not license. What's what you are doing? If you are walking on the road, it means you are using license, not liberty. Liberty says to you to use your region. Liberty always, embodied with the region. Right? It says, okay, where you should walk, where should you drive, when you should stop and when you should start. Similarly, it applies with all the activity we do in everyday life. For example, your liberty, you have liberty to whether join the class or not. Right? But it does not mean, that you should not join the class or join at 12:30 or 12:45. You are free. Doesn't mean. Liberty always embodied with the region. Right? Use your region and nationality, while you are acting on self, and you must ensure that your action should be liberty, not the license. For example, I have right to speech and expression, right? I have freedom. Let me give you an example, right? I have liberty. Liberty of thought or expression, right? Preamble gives you 5 types of liberty, isn't it? Preamble gives you 5 types of liberty: liberty of thought, expression, belief, right? Belief, faith and worship. So you have liberty of expression. I can speak something and whatever I want. That's right. But can I abuse someone while speaking? No. Right? I don't have that liberty. Liberty does not mean that I should I speak speech in some way that creates enmity among society, that creates violence, that raises hate? No, of course. So if you have a right to speech and expression, but you should not speak you should not speak in such a way that there may be that leads to violence in society anyway. Making sense? So making sense, right? Now I will move again. There is a restrictions is always with the word liberty. Liberty means some action with religion. Liberty means some action with the religion. And if you have applied religion, then nobody can, restrict you. No. Liberty means action with religion. That is liberty. All that. Now if you see the classical idea that the state should not intervene, the society should not intervene. The state or society should not intervene in your liberty. That liberty means absence of external interference. Right? This is the classical, classical idea of liberty. Now look at, I told you that this idea of liberty evolved with the industrialization and the entire process of industrialization, science and technology, modernity, and so on. Now this concept of liberty called as negative liberty. This concept is called as negative liberty. Negative liberty, right, refers to absence of external interference. Right? It is also, of course, it is an action with religion, but no interference should be there. Now, state should protect the liberty. But what about those who remained marginal? Right? Who remained totally marginal in the due course of industrialization. For example, the poor, right? The diseased, the ignored, the tribal, the SC, the woman. What about them? Should we allow person to die without food? Can we allow person to die without the food? can we allow person to live without shelter? Then here, if you look at, there is another concept of liberty that evolved, that state should intervene. State should intervene in order to realize true meaning of freedom. True meaning of freedom. For example, health. The state should provide health. The state should provide education. Now here you can see state intervention is necessary. Here state intervention is necessary. Why? State intervention is necessary. State intervention is necessary in order to, enhance the capacity of individual. For example, health. For example, education. For example, environment. Right? For example, equal pay for equal work. For example, social security. For example, pension. Right? So look at this state intervention in order to enhance the capacity of individual freedom, that is called positive freedom. And anti-DPSP is example of positive freedom, the positive liberty. Am I making sense? Have you written what I have taught you? I have tried to explain you. Nobody will teach you these concepts, right? While teaching polity. क्या मतलब है, right? वो सिंपल लिबर्टी को बोल के पांच तरह की लिबर्टी है, लिबर्टी का मतलब फ्रीडम है, बस हो गया नहीं, but you must understand what does it mean, right? Now look at, have you written all this? Liberty means action with region, absence of external interference. That is called negative liberty. Here state is limited. Right? Or you can say limited state. The state must respect the individual freedom. Now I'm just again moving. Again now I'm dividing liberty into two types. Negative liberty right, and positive liberty. I am dividing again liberty into two types, the negative liberty and positive liberty. Right? So now if you look at the negative liberty, I told you that absence of external interference, absence of external interference, right? And a state must protect it. A state should respect it. Respect it, protect it, patronize it. Right? For example, let me give you an example. Article 21 is an example of negative liberty, right to life and personal liberty. For example, Article 14 is also negative liberty, right not to be discriminated. Here, क्या है? The state shall not discriminate any individual on the basis of race, caste, language, race, right, place of birth. For example, Article 50, it is a negative liberty. Article 16, right, equal opportunity to the employment. Why Article 21 is negative liberty? Because the state cannot intervene in your right to life. Your life is yours. The state has to protect it. Right? Negative does not take a negative means negative sense. No. For example, negative blood. My blood is B negative, right? My blood is B negative group. It does not mean I am very negative person. Right? The B negative, it is a very scarce blood. It's very scarce blood. Right? For example, you know, कोई अगर COVID positive निकल गया, that doesn't mean positive. Yeah, you are right. You know, और कोई AIDS positive निकल गया, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं positive निकला, बहुत बुरा हाल है. वो ऐसा positive है जो बहुत बुरा हाल देता है positive का. Am I making sense? Negative liberty is a very scarce resource and must be protected. Negative liberty is a very scarce resource. Right? Negative liberty is a very scarce resource and must be protected in any democratic state. Any democratic state. Right? Negative liberty does not mean negative sense. No. Negative liberty is a very scarce resource. For example, an individual should have a right to decide about their marriage. It is negative liberty. Or for example, woman's right to abortion. It is, yeah, right to property is a negative right. But it's very important. State should not snatch it. The state should protect it, respect it, patronize it. Now look at Article 21. So all civic right, you know, civil and political right, are negative in nature. Making sense? The negative liberty. So Article 15, Article 21, Article 15, 14. Now come to the positive liberty. Here state intervention is very important. State intervention is needed to enhance the capacity of individual. Capacity of individual. Right? Now for example, right to education. If I have right to education, that is positive liberty. Right? So for example, education. For example, health. For example, social security. Right? Am I making sense? Here state intervention is not necessary. And if you see, Indian polity have both kinds of liberty. The positive liberty, negative liberty. For example, right, the entire DPSP is all about positive liberty. Article 15 clause 3, which says that the state shall make a special provision for women and children. Yeah, social and economic supports is a positive liberty. You are right. Socio-economic rights. Socio-economic rights, like that is DPSP, is a positive liberty. Am I making sense? Positive liberty and negative liberty? Right? Not making sense. Shivani, what is doubt? Yeah, that is you are confused on Article 21. You know, Article 1 says that a state shall not deny right to life and right to life. The state shall not deny to any person right to life and personal liberty except pressure established by the law. So state cannot take your life or personal liberty except if you have violated some law. That's a different thing. State shall not deny to any person right to life and personal liberty. So if I am eating something, the state shall not deny me, tum ye nahi wo khao. Right? We should not eat non-veg, you should eat veg. You should not eat, apple, you should eat guava. Right? The state cannot do that. Right to privacy is a completely negative liberty, negative right. Got it? Got it? Okay. No. Got it now? So individual, here again individual is free. But those individuals who cannot do with the freedom. यहाँ पर वो लोग हैं जो freedom का मतलब ही नहीं पता उनको. For example, poor, if the poor people are not able to enter in the school, there is no meaning of freedom for themselves. Right? If there are many people who are unable to get education or taking health, that आप बोल दो कि okay, you are free to get education, but you don't have money. What do you mean by meaning of the freedom? Someone say, okay, you are free to go from Mumbai to Chicago, but you can't go because you don't have money. Someone say, okay, you are free to get good health care. You can't achieve it. And therefore, the state, comes to intervene in some matter in order to enhance the freedom of individual. For example, a state gives, pension to old age people. Or the state, promotes equal pay for equal work. Or the state provides maternity relief. Or the state has provided, 50% reservation in the local government in many states. It is a positive freedom. Positive freedom always, requires a state intervention in order to enhance freedom of individual. Right? Am I making sense? But negative freedom does not need a state intervention. It does not need a state intervention. State जब intervention करता है तो बुरा होता है यहाँ पर. Able to tell you about something, negative freedom and positive freedom. There is nothing wrong with the negative freedom. Negative freedom is a good. It is a public good. Yeah? Swati, Shivani, Abhinav, making sense? I hope little bit are making sense. Yeah, more on, I'll come to write, the person write. Right? So someone say, oh, it is a negative liberty, does not perceive it is a negative sense. No. Negative liberty is a very scarce resource, like negative blood, right? Or like, COVID negative, or AIDS negative. Right, you are COVID negative, you are happy. If you have negative liberty, you are happy. Because you have freedom to act as per your will. But with reason. Let me know. With reason. With reason. Your action should not be without reason. Right, so negative liberty is a scarce resource. And that must be available to everyone. Right, everyone should have equal liberty to choose their life partner. Sometimes your parents or some society come. Have you heard about the Khap Panchayat in Haryana and Western UP? Yeah, Khap Panchayat, who dictates their norm regarding marriage. Or there are caste panchayat. Even in the southern India, There are lots of controversy regarding intercaste marriage, Swati. Right? Person are being killed because he or she has done intercaste marriage. So who are hell, who will decide the personal liberty? To whom I should live with? It does not be fair. And it should not be fair, ideally, but it does basically. And so I hope I am making some sense of liberty to you. Right? Liberty is not absolute. Liberty is not license. Liberty is a liberty. Liberty is not license. What do you mean by the license? License means unconstrained liberty, absolute liberty. That is not liberty at all. Absolute liberty is not a liberty at all. Liberty comes with certain region, certain responsibility. If I have liberty to walk on the road, I have duty to walk right on the left side of the road. If I have a car, I have liberty to drive, then I should not make a speed. Constraint means restrictions. शिवानी, मान लीजिए कि लिबर्टी का मतलब, मान लीजिए कि मेरे पास एक म्यूजिक का सिस्टम है, and I have liberty, I have freedom to, right, I have freedom to play it, but I have at least constraint. I must be self-constrained that I should not play the music in such a way that other may get disturbed. Right? Other may get disturbed. होता है ना, लोग गाना इतने तेज से बजाते हैं. So can we say that negative liberty is constraint liberty? You can say a liberty with constraint, a freedom with constraint. Yeah, you're right. Now you look at, this is liberty, and this positive liberty is called freedom. The true meaning of freedom is this: freedom coming in order to enhance the capacity. For example, you have liberty to smoke. Neither society nor the state will say you okay whether you smoke or not. But it must be come from you within that you should not smoke, right? Because you have certain responsibility regarding your health, right? So that is freedom. Freedom is self-realization, right? Okay. So I hope you had got the idea of liberty. Liberty का मतलब क्या है? And you know that the Indian Constitution gives, the preamble talks about 5 types of liberty. So preamble, preamble talks about 5 types of liberty. Right? क्या क्या है? Namely, thought, expression,
Thought, expression, faith, belief and worship.
yeah, faith, belief and worship. Right? Now you can worship or you can faith to anyone. No one is coming to direct you, okay, you believe this or not believe. Whether you may believe or whether you not believe. It's your own decision. Right? So liberty means liberty to faith, freedom to believe or not to believe. Freedom to speak, expressions without favor and without fear. Freedom to think, right? Freedom to believe, freedom to faith. That is the, Indian preamble talks about. Now I will I'll move to the word equality. As government expense liberty contract. What do you mean by it? Avinav? Yeah, the state expends liberty by providing education, health, social security, of course. Sir, someone says that monopoly, what?
Sir, can you make difference between liberty and sovereignty?
Liberty and sovereignty. You know, sovereignty is a particular characteristic of state. Right? For example, liberty is a characteristic of individual. An individual, if self-sovereign is, self-sovereign is individual liberty. But sovereignty is a characteristic of a state. I didn't tell you, a state has 4 characteristics. A state must have, territory, population, government, and then sovereignty. Right? If a sovereign state which has territory, population, government, but if it does not have sovereignty, it cannot be called a state. For example, Bangladesh. Before 1971, Bangladesh had separate territory, it had population, it had also government, but it had no sovereignty, and therefore it was not rated as a state. Am I making sense, Shivani? Yeah, I'll come to the Avinav. Yeah, Avinav, your query as government expense liberty contracts. Sir, someone says that monopoly. Then, sir, the government when it becomes more powerful, it becomes people's lives. So that why it is good. I didn't get Avinav. Again, can you speak up? What do you mean by it? I didn't get your query properly. No, let Avinav speak, yeah. हाँ हिंदी में बोलिए बहुत अच्छी बात है बोलिए बोलिए हाँ यस
तो सर उन्होंने मतलब उसमें लिखा था ये कि when government expands and liberty contract तो it means तानाशाही और ये सब के बारे में कह रहा था मैं तो जैसे like Afghanistan and Gulf countries तो आप I read it somewhere so I'll tell you that
No, it's all right. When government constrain the liberty, when government squeezes the liberty, then government turn into authoritarian government, of course. Or a society, when a society squeezes liberty. For example, any household. Take the example of household. This household, if household enjoy freedom, if household respect freedom. That household you can find a developed household. For instance, if women have freedom in household, you can find woman is more developed. Right? Or entire family is more developed. And in household where woman is suppressed, their liberty is suppressed, you can find that household is not so developed comparatively. It also applies to the society. Those society which cheers liberty are developed society. Right? Otherwise, if you excuses liberty, na, then making the life stagnant, poor. It cannot develop. A life should be like, a river. It should flow without restrictions, right on its path. But liberty does not mean not using reason. Let me tell you. For example, sometimes you may enjoy that liberty is served without restriction of anyone. Liberty does not mean not going to school. Liberty में कोई कहेगा कि I am a rational person, right? And I don't want to go to school, and that is liberty. No, that is not liberty. If person is fully mature, and if he don't want to study, fine. Let him do something else. Let him go for a sport or music, or maybe some trade, some commerce. Maybe interested in that, isn't it? Not that all person should be like professor and teacher. No, there are different person and there are different capacity and different talent that should be used. Yeah, Swati, sir is expressed alone positive liberty, other are negative liberty, thought, faith, all are. Even thought, faith, belief, worship, and expression, all are negative liberty. Let me tell you one. Let me give you some more dose on liberty. Have you heard of Jess Miller? I have introduced you one person, John Locke. I am introducing the second person. He said, he divided human action into a part. Right? He divided human action into a part. Self-regarding, action and other regarding action. What is self-regarding action? An action which cannot harm the other. What is self-regarding action? An action which does not harm others. It's called self-regarding action. And he said, individuals should have liberty in self-regarding action. What is other regarding action? An action which harms others. Right? So sometimes a self-regarding action converted into other regarding action. For example, speech. I have right to speech and expression, but I can speak something. This is my self-regarding, but with region and rationality. Agar मैं वो region and rationality, if I don't adhere to, then it will move into the other regarding action. For example, if I started abusing someone, right, or if I have started to talking some bullshit regarding some religion, that would be right. So that would be other regarding action. I'm making sense. All self-regarding action would be so thought is a self-regarding action. You can think anything. You can think to make the flying car. You can think of murder of someone would be other regarding that. कैसे murder कर दोगे? It is other regarding action. Shivani. Or just thinking, even that may harm the other, no? If you are thinking to murder someone, that may, harm the other. I'm making sense. So, in self-regarding action, human is free, individual is free. individual is free in self-regarding action. Right? Yeah, Swati, making sense? I hope now it is a little bit clear. So we have liberty, but it's not absolute. Liberty should be self-regarding, right? And speech should be free, right? There should be free speech and expression. You know, there are three actions that J.S. Mill talked about that is self-regarding. Free action, free speech and expression. Second, you know, the test of pursuit. यानी आपको जो खाने पीने का लगता है जो खाइए लीजिए कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. And then, you know, freedom to make association, free to form association. These three are self-regarding action. Freedom of speech and expression, taste of pursuit, you live as you wish, and then you make any association like economic club. Go ahead, Shivani.
As you told that liberty is individual freedom and sovereignty is state's freedom.
Sovereignty is not a state freedom. Sovereignty is when the state is free from external control, then it is called sovereignty. Sovereignty is a basic characteristic of a state. It is one of the most organ of the state.
Yeah. So if there is no liberty in states, so it will be just like hodgepodge. Means it is no rules and regulation and all things would be.
If a state shall not, if a state is not sovereign, like Afghanistan,
Yes, sir.
then liberty will be in jeopardy, right?
Yes, sir. And if there is no sovereignty, okay, you okay, sir. I got it.
क्या got it? बताओ सही क्या got it? हाँ.
Yes, I was asking that if there is liberty and no sovereignty, then what will happen? So you told that like Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Liberty
Would be in jeopardy if there is no sovereignty. Of course.
Yeah.
There will be no liberty.
If there is,
I told you there is no law, there is no liberty.
yeah.
I told you there is no, if you know certain law, no liberty.
Yes.
There is some law and that should be maintained in order to ensure liberty. But it does not mean there are maximum law then that will ensure liberty. If law is a maximum, there are more law and more liberty. It is correct? No, it is not correct.
Yes, sir.
No, it is not correct. For example, a law can come in order to restrict individual choice of food. Will that ensure enhance liberty?
No, sir.
No, that is. It's not necessarily more law, more liberty. No, it is not. But there is no law.
For example, so can we say that America has means not much law?
Minimum law, yeah. Minimum law, maximum liberty.
Yeah. Yes.
Minimum law, maximum liberty. This is true. This would be true. Minimum law, only certain law to, restrain something. Minimum law, maximum liberty. That is true. But it's not true. More, we have maximum law, maximum liberty. No. Making sense, Shivani?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like we have means world largest written constitution and the criminal rate in our India is very large. So say that here is lots of law but less liberty.
Yeah. If you have multiple law, liberty would be less. Because state will come to intervene, na?
So sir, can we say India has more positive liberty?
Yes, India has a positive liberty. If you look at the Article 15 Clause 3, Article 15 Clause 4, Article 15 Clause 5, Article 15 Clause 6, Article 16 Clause 4, Article 16 Clause 4A, right? Then Article 17, Article 21 Clause A, right to education is a positive liberty. Lots of positive liberty we have. Okay? Okay. Rest with it. Now, I have talked about liberty a lot. And I hope you received some idea. Right? Oh, it's 1 o'clock. देखो टाइम कैसे चला गया? I did not know. Yeah, how time is spent I didn't get क्या कैसे चला गया? Okay, anyway, next class I'll talk about equality. Right? But what I have taught you, think on it. Think on it. Right? And there is one chapter on liberty in NCRT, 11th class. The book name is Political Theory. If you could read this, that would be more helpful to you. If you can upload this book online, and if you could read this chapter, it would be most useful for you, helpful for you.
Sir, I had this NCRT of 11th class, that is political science. So it is naming Indian Constitution on
No. The book title is Political Theory. There are two books in 11th class, Indian Constitution at Work, and another book is Political Theory, and there is one chapter on liberty. Read that chapter. Right? Shivani, Swati and Abhinav. Conceptual clarity should be there. Right? और data में तो क्या है? मैं data बता दूंगा, बोलूँगा किताब में ये भी है, किताब you go through that book and then read the data. जो चीज़ factual चीज़ है वो factual है. Nobody can change that. Fine. So I'll stop here, and tomorrow I'll take this concept equality. Right? What is equality? What is fraternity? And then we'll move on. Fine? And then we'll move to fundamental right. Right? Yeah? So I'm stopping here. See you tomorrow. Okay?